Hotep Nefer Kemet. Welcome in great peace to Egypt. I am General Wendjebauendjed. You can simply call me Wendjebaawoo. I served as a general, high dignitary, and high priest under the rule of Pausanias I of the 21st dynasty around 1047 to 1001 BC. Even though I wasn't a royal personage, the fact that I held such significant positions permitted me to get the high honor of being buried in the royal necropolis. I have crossed the time barrier to talk to you about the army in ancient Egypt. This will include the army divisions, the defensive and offensive arms, the military costumes, the tactics and strategies during the war, and the enemies of ancient Egypt.
Once again, I have crossed the time barrier to talk to you today about the military organization in ancient Egypt. As early as the Old Kingdom, Egypt used specific military units, with military hierarchy appearing in the Middle Kingdom. By the New Kingdom, the Egyptian military consisted of three major branches: the infantry, the chariotry, and the navy. A military standard is a sign used to signify a standard among a group of militarized individuals to show distinction from other groups, but not from one another. This recognized division started as early as the unification period in Egypt. The semicircular fan perched atop a tall, lean staff was the most typical representation of the Egyptian military throughout history. This image stood in for the Egyptian Navy. Each battalion and company had a unique standard that had a religious motif, such as the name of the reigning monarch, a revered animal, or an iconic object. The standard's emblem acts as a prominent rallying point in the midst of the turmoil of war. A highly skilled officer who had demonstrated courage served as the standard bearer. He was identified by a unique insignia that hung around his neck. The royal banners, which were carried by elite generals close to the king, had a unique significance. Boccoris, the only king in the 24th dynasty, was one of ancient Egypt's 6 most important lawgivers. He reiterated the privileges of the military men known since time immemorial. He mentioned that each soldier, whatever on duty or not, was allowed 10 acres of land free from all charges. He and his family could live on its revenues. Each soldier had a daily allowance of 5 pounds of bread, 2 pounds of meat, and 4 cups of beer. So, the army provided retirement benefits and land grants. This maintained a loyal and well-taken care of military force. No soldier could be cast into prison for debt. It would be dangerous to allow the civil power the right of arresting those who were the chief defense of the state. They developed and implemented systems to reward soldiers for valor and loyalty, creating a culture of accountability and motivation. The fly emblem was given to distinguished warriors as a decoration of valor. To keep discipline in the army, those who committed minor offenses were punished by the bastinado, like that inflicted on ordinary people. But the soldier who treacherously held communication with the enemy was sentenced to the excision of his tongue. In certain crimes, the soldier was degraded and condemned publicly to wear a conspicuous mark of ignominy. He was doomed to bear it, till his subsequent good conduct had retrieved his character and obtained for him the forgiveness of his superiors. This rendered the stigma a more odious disgrace than death itself. In preparation for a military campaign to attack a foreign nation, each province furnished its quota of men. The troops were commanded by the king in person. In some instances, a general was appointed to that post and entrusted with the sole conduct of the war. A place of rendezvous or gathering was fixed at Thebes, Memphis, or Pelusium. The troops, having assembled in the vicinity, remained encamped there, awaiting the leader of the expedition. Upon his arrival, a sacrifice was performed to the gods whose assistance was invoked in the approaching conflict. Orders were then given for their march, and a signal was given by the sound of trumpet. The military band would then keep the soldiers marching in accordance with their enthusiastic music. The troops fell in, and with a profound bow, each soldier in the ranks saluted the royal general and prepared to follow him to the field. The march then commenced to the sound of the drum. The army then will proceed to the destined campaign. After returning triumphantly, a military parade would take place, and the king would demonstrate the captives as well as the spoils of the war. The people would align themselves to salute the victorious army and celebrate the victory. So, this episode shed light on the military organization in general. The next episode will tackle the defensive arms used by our Egyptian army. So long.
Make sure to tune into my next videos. If you have any thoughts or questions, add them to your comments. Kindly press the like, share, and subscribe buttons. I'm Farag al-Sharabasi. See you in the next episodes. Thank you.